Hello and welcome to this webinar entitled UK GDPR International Transfers with me, Keith Markham. As always, let's begin by having a look at the agenda for this session today. So quite a wide-ranging agenda. We're going to begin by just reminding ourselves of some of the sort of nuts and bolts by way of overview. We will revisit the key article in both the UK GDPR and indeed the EU GDPR, which is Article 44. And then what we'll do is we'll briefly look at the sorts of places where you can find guidance if you wish to go beyond what I talked to you about today. So I'll be highlighting some of the key guidance documents and notes that are available. And that's both at an UK and indeed an EU level. Now, we'll then after that go on to talk about the issue of restricted transfers. And this particular definition is very much what sits at the heart of all the discussion that will follow. Obviously, if you are carrying out a restricted transfer, you are going to have to worry about the various regimes that I'm about to go through. However, if your transfer is not a restricted one, then ultimately you can proceed with it without worrying about all of the things I'm going to go through today. Now, the EU regime will then come to, and we will begin with this because in order to understand the UK regime, you need to first of all understand a bit about the EU regime. And also it may be that a number of you have EU-related issues as well. So we will look at what the new regime is there, look particularly at the updated version of the standard contractual clauses. And we'll also look at what the European Data Protection Board has had to say in terms of various recommendations, in terms of transfer risk assessment, and also the sorts of measures that you can take to make sure that your transfer mechanism is adequate. Once we've done that, we will then come to a more detailed discussion of the UK regime, and we will obviously look at the International Data Transfer Agreement. We will look at the possibility of using the UK addendum alongside the EU SCCs, and we'll also in particular go through the ICO's 6-stage checklist that potentially you should be following in order to make sure that your transfer, your restricted transfer, is compliant. So we're going to go through all of those methodically. Let's begin then with the key article that's found in both the UK GDPR and also the EU GDPR.